जय गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जना, यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जना, यमुनतीरा वनचारि, यमुनतीरा नचारि। जय राधा माधव, जय कुञ्ज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव, जय कुञ्ज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गिरिधरी श्री राधे, जय राधा गिरिधरी श्री राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमणि। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रमणि। जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय श्री श्री गौरानिताय। जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय श्री श्री गौरानिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, भागवत महाग्रंथ की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा everyone. Please welcome to this morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam. So thank you Mataji and Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity. Even though I am not qualified, I am trying my level to please Guru and Gauranga. Please bless me so that I can deliver the correct message of Srila Prabhupada, and also please correct me if I do anything wrong. Hare Krishna. By seeking your blessings, I will start this class. I will start this class by reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. I am going to share Prabhupada Lilamrita. Is it visible, Prabhuji? Can I confirm?
Yes, Mataji, it is visible from the screen.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we are reading Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, chapter 35. The name is This Remote Corner of the World, page number 989 in the book. Srila Prabhupada had so many centers in the US that to visit each one was not practical. During his year in India, many new centers had opened. On the west coast in Florida, Texas, the Midwest, the East, Prabhupada said he had more establishments than a wealthy businessman and more residences. Were he to stay at each of his houses, he quipped, he couldn't visit them all in a year, and especially to Indian audiences, he would cite the monthly expenditures for his centers. Though proud of ISKCON's growth, Prabhupada was never proud on his own account. He never considered using ISKCON for his own enjoyment. Whenever he visited a center, his quarters were usually an apartment arranged at the last minute, often fraught with annoyances like noisy neighbors and incompetent cooks. At 75 years, his constant traveling was hardly an arrangement for his health and comfort. Prabhupada never felt complacent over the small success his society enjoyed, nor would he claim the credit for that success. Rather, he said it was due to the mercy of his spiritual master and the previous spiritual masters. ISKCON still had but little influence in the world. People considered it a small, exotic religious sect. But by the blessings of the previous acharyas, it was growing. Prabhupada was initiating more and more disciples, and the potential was unlimited. One of the Lord Chaitanya's chief followers, Jiva Goswami, had warned that spiritual masters should not accept many disciples. Many neophyte disciples would bring suffering to the spiritual master. Yet on Prabhupada's years too, during the summer of 1970, he initiated more disciples than ever before. As Lord Chaitanya's empowered representative, he wanted to increase the number of devotees more and more. He was aware of the risk, but he was also aware of the great need, as he had written in the Nectar of Devotion. The one point is that without increasing the number of disciples, there is no propagation of the cult of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, sometimes even at a risk, a sannyasi in the line of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may accept even a person who is not thoroughly fit to become a disciple. Later on, by the mercy of such a bona fide spiritual master, the disciple is gradually elevated. However, if one increases the number of disciples simply for some prestige or false honor, he will surely fall down in the matter of executing Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada's list of prospective disciples' readiness for initiation was standard. The candidate must have followed the 4 rules and chanted 16 rounds daily for at least 6 months and have the recommendation of the temple president and the local GBC secretary. Prabhupada accepted anyone who fulfilled these conditions, and he expected the disciple to remain sincere and true to the oaths of initiation. Despite Prabhupada's growing number of disciples, he intimately touched each of their hearts. Although a few disciples enjoyed extended association with him, most of his hundreds of disciples saw him only from afar. Yet each of them was certain that Prabhupada was his own. Each could say, my spiritual master. Each could say, Prabhupada, and feel close to their dearest friend and well-wisher, the one who was saving them from death. They knew that Prabhupada was the direct representative of Krishna and the most empowered Acharya of the Lord Chaitanya's message. Those who were sincere knew without doubt that their connection with Prabhupada was transcendental, not to be interrupted or limited by physical or geographical considerations. If they surrendered to Prabhupada's order, Krishna within their hearts would help them advance. If they were sincere, Krishna would help them become better disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So, Prabhuji, I would like to stop here. Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, no problem. Mataji,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry. No
Thank
problem.
you, Prabhuji. Yeah. Hare Krishna. I stop sharing. Now, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, The Creative Impetus, and chapter number 14, The title is The Material World as a Great Forest of Enjoyment. And verse number 42. I'll share the screen. Hope you will see that one, Prabhuji. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So we are reading Canto 5, chapter 14 and 42 words. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasyedam upagayanti asabasyeha rajarser manasapi mahatmanaha nanuvartatmarhati nrupo Maksikeva garutmataha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasyedam upagayanti arsabasyeha rajarsen manasapi mahatmanaha nanuvartatmar hati nrupo makshikeva garutmataha. Tasedam upagayanti arsabasyeha rajarasir manasapi mahatmanaha nanuvartatmarhati nrupo akshikeva garutmataha. Anybody would like to recite? Please welcome.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I am trying.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Tasvedamupagayanti arsha bharsheha rajarshe manashapi mahatmanaha nanu bhatmarhoti nipo makshikeva garutmataha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Please carry on.
Tasjedam upagayanti arshavaseha rajarshir monoshapi mahatmanaha nanu vartmarhati nripo mokshikeva gurutmataha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Please carry on.
Tashyedam upagayanti arishbhashaye harajarishir manasyapi mahatmanaha nanu vartama arhati nipo makshikeva garurtumataha. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am also
Hi.
trying.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Tasyo idam upagayanti arshabhasyeha rajarsir manoshapi mahatmanaha nanu vartam arhati nipo muksikeva garutmataha.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tanma Pranam. I will also try.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Tasma idam upagayanti arshabhyasya rajarshi manasyapi mahatmana nanu vartama arhati nipo makshikesh keva garutmata. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to read synonyms?
May I, Mataji, please?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Tasya of Jar Bharat, Idam, this glorification, Upagayanti, they sing, A Rishbhashya, of the son of Rishbhadev, Iha, Hiya, Raj Rishihe, of the great saintly king, Manasa, Api, even by the mind, Maha Atmanaha, of the great personality, Jad Bharat, Na, not, Anuvartma Arhati, able to follow the path, Nipraha, any king, Makshika, a fly, Eva, like Garud Mata of Garud, the carrier of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Mataji. Anybody would like to read translation and purport?
Yes, Mataji, I can read.
Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki
Lord,
jai.
ki jai.
Having summarized the teaching of Jadabharata, Shukdev Goswami said, "My dear King Parikshit, the path indicated by Jadabharata is like the path followed by Garuda, the carrier of the Lord, and ordinary kings are just like flies. Flies cannot follow the path of Garuda, and to date none of the great kings and victorious leaders could follow this path of devotional service, not even mentally." Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.3, Manusyanam sahasreshu koschid yatati siddhaye yatatamopi siddhanam koschin mam vetti tattvataha. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. The path of devotional service is very difficult, even for great kings who have conquered many enemies. Although these kings are victorious on the battlefield, they could not conquer the bodily conception. There are many big leaders, yogis, swamis, and so called incarnations who are very much addicted to mental speculation and who advertise themselves as perfect personalities. But they are not ultimately successful. The path of devotional service is undoubtedly very difficult to follow. But it becomes very easy if the candidate actually wants to follow the path of the Mahajana. In this age, there is the path of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared to deliver all fallen souls. This path is so simple and easy that everyone can take by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Harer Namo, Harer Namo, Harer Namo Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva, Gatir Annatha. We are very satisfied that this path is being opened by this Krishna consciousness movement because so many European and American boys and girls are taking this philosophy seriously and gradually attaining perfection. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Krishna. So I'll read translation one more time. Having summarized the teachings of Jadabharata, Sakadeva Goswami said, "My dear King Parikshit, the path indicated by Jadabharata is like the path followed by Garuda, the carrier of the Lord, and ordinary kings are just like flies. Flies cannot follow the path of Garuda. And to date, none of the great kings and victorious leaders could follow this path of devotion service, not even mentally." Thank you so much. I'll stop the sharing. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायसु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यचन्द्र ईश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing, we've been discussing about the instructions of Jadabharat given to the Rahugana. And for many verses, not only verses, many chapters, these instructions have been elaborately explained to Rahugana. Some instructions in the form of philosophy, some instructions in the form of allegory, so indirectly. And sometimes Jadabharat was compared that enjoyment with forest life, and that sufferings and problems we get in the material life is compared with the forest life. So there the animals and some insects, flies, how they trouble people in the forest. The same way, how these sufferings are in the material world is compared with the forest life. Here, these instructions are already finished, the section. Now Sukadeva Goswami is explaining to Parikshit Maharaj and what is the path given by Jadabharat to Rahugana. And he's glorifying the Jadabharat and his instructions. Actually, he's saying that the path given by Jadabharat to King Rahugana is superior. The king of all the services, that is devotional service, is explained here. The importance of the devotional service explained, and it is highlighted, the importance of devotional service. In these words, Prabhupada is touching actually the 4 areas. If you could see, what are the activities of these so-called leaders, so-called yogis, saints, all these, and what is the lacking principle in their activities. And also, Prabhupada explained the third one, the paths, 2 paths are compared here. And what are the actual path we have to take and what is the other path? Comparison is given. And finally, what is the perfection? What is the real goal of life? That is Panchama Purushartha also explained here. So we'll go one by one. First, we'll discuss activities of the so-called leaders and why they are lacking, why they are not getting the success. When you compare these activities of the so-called leaders in present generation compared to the olden generation, we can understand what actually lacking in these rulers. In 4.1 Bhagavad Gita, it's Evam Parampara Prapta, Imam Rajarshiyo. So Krishna is saying that I am giving this knowledge to saintly kings. Before, there were so many kings, they were ruling their subjects with so much dedication. They were taking care of their subjects and they are having the qualities like they are like Aryans. So what is Aryan? And also Krishna chastised Arjuna. Don't become like a Anaryan. Anaryam Justum Asavargam Akirtikaram Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Also Krishna chastised Arjuna. Don't become Anaryan, non-Aryan. What is the Aryan means? The people who knows the value of the life. So Kshatriyas, they should know the value of the life and the same value should impart to their subjects. If it is not, that point is missing, they cannot rule properly. They won't be saying like a proper Kshatriya. Kshatriyas means they remove the problems, hurt, whatever the subjects problems, they have to remove that. Instead of that, if they are taking care of their senses and taking their enjoyment into consideration, they won't be considered as a true kings. And they should be like a Aryan. They should know the values of the light, and also they should follow the religious principles. The main religious principles are there are 5 types. Those are respecting the Brahmanas, respecting the cows, taking care of the cows, and elderly persons, women. So like this, there are some religious principles also there. The Kshatriyas should consider these points. So where there is a respect for Brahmanas, where there is a respect for cows in the society, that society will flourish like anything. The prosperities will be there. The civilization will be advanced. But if that the religious principles, if they are not following the religious principle, there is no advancement. And actually their strength is devotion only. They completely depend on the Lord and they respect the Brahmanas. They take instructions from the Brahmanas. And that's how they rule the country with their suggestions. Brahmanas are intelligent people, intelligent class of people. They give suggestions to the king, not for the benefit of him, for the entire kingdom. They take suggestions from the Brahmanas and they rule. That their strength is actually the devotion, they completely depend on. That's why they are Rajarshi. Raja means they take up the responsibility of ruling, and also like a Rishi. Rishi means they are completely following the principles, and they are engaging in the service of. If they are the Rajarshis, they are engaging in the service of the Lord. They are dedicating their lives to service of Lord. The same knowledge, same values they can impart to the subjects. But nowadays, the people are lacking that knowledge, and they are become non-Aryans. They are not following any religious principles. So everywhere slaughtering is happening. There is no respect for the Brahmanas. So we can see how many rulers in this present generation taking instructions from the Brahmanas. So nobody, they are doing whimsically whatever they want. Once they get the position, they just try to gather how much they could. They can take all the luxuries, and they can exploit the resources. So however it is available into their custody, they are not taking care of the society. They are not taking care of the citizens also. And the previously there are so many Rajarshis are ruling our country. There are so many examples also given. Could you, anyone, please give some examples? So Rajarshis, previously there are so many saintly kings. Can you give some examples?
Mataji, there are so many examples. King Janok
Yes.
Maharaj,
Um,
Ambarish Maharaj,
yes.
and also Lord
Yudhi-
Ramachandra, of course, he is God himself, but he
Yes,
has also
Yudhishthir.
acted.
Yeah, Yudhishthir Maharaj, yes, Prabhuji,
Yudhishthira
Parikshit
Maharaj.
Maharaj, Janaka
Yes.
Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. So, especially some of these personalities, great personalities like Prahlad Maharaj, they are embodiment of devotion actually. So they are ruling the country, and also they are completely engaged in the service of Lord, like Ambarish Maharaj. All are Aryans. They know the value of the life, and also they are following the religious principle. They are taking care of the cows. They are taking care of Brahmanas, and they are taking care of the subjects also. Apart from their devotional services, they are taking care of all their responsibilities, and they are giving that knowledge, the devotional knowledge, to subjects also. So that is the proper Rajarshi kings. And nowadays the kings, they are not taking up any bhakti process, and they are enjoying their senses, and they are exploiting the resources, and they are as much as possible they are collecting all this money and everything, and they are enjoying simply. And they may be conquer the enemies, as Prabhupada said in the purport. They may be conquer enemies, they can be great warrior, but no point, because they cannot control their senses. That is the main point. So as long as they have to be in the devotional service, the first thing they have to do is controlling their senses, controlling their attachments. And here, for Rajarshis, the great strength is devotion. For the so-called leaders, the great strength is coming from their nuclear weapons. How much the strength of that country depend on how many nuclear bombs they have, how many terrorists they have. That is their strength. So they are least bothered about the spiritual incitement. There is no, they are bereft of devotional, divine knowledge. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita also says that Namam Dikshino Muda Prapadyante Naradama Maya Prahata Jnana Asrimbama Bhava Masritaha. The four kinds of people, they cannot see the Lord because they are always engaged in the abominable activities. So they are foolish, lowest among the mankind. And their knowledge is stolen by Maya, illusion. So when their knowledge is stolen, they cannot discriminate what is good. They cannot think. Their intelligence is lost. They cannot discriminate what is good and what they cannot discriminate also what they are doing. whether it is good for them or bad for them. They can't even discriminate these things. And ashram, demonic nature, always uh, um, hate, jealous, envious, all these natures are there. And once sometimes they adopt some religious principle, and they do some rituals up to Swargaloka only. So they aim to go to higher planets only. They cannot consider it. And also the next verse, 7.16 Bhagavad Gita says, Chaturvidam bhajante no jnanato arjuna. Artho, jinjaso, arthartho, jnanisa, bhartasabha. Four kinds of people, they can reach me, also explained by Krishna. Those are in helpless condition, those who want money, and also those are inquisitive of knowledge, and also they inquisitive about the absolute truth, and they also looking for the knowledge. These four kinds of people also can reach there. So it starts from Atato Brahma Jijnasa. Unless and until they get this Atato Brahma Jijnasa, they cannot start their devotion. And also Kunti Maharani, in her prayers 1.8.26, she says, Janmeswarya Sruta Srebir. So these four qualities, what is Janma, Aishwarya, so having lots of opulences, facilities, taking birth in a rich family, Sruta, so education, the good education, and beauty. So they have to exhaust with these four things to approach the Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. So unless they exhaust by these qualities, their opulences, their beauty, their education, they have to give up. Then only they can reach the Lord. That's why these people, these so-called leaders, always engage themselves in the sense gratification. They cannot see the Lord. Easily they cannot adopt the process of devotional service. There are so many examples for this in the previous, because also there are so many examples like this. Could you please give some more examples? The so-called rulers which are bereft of divine consciousness. Any other examples?
King Ven Mataji.
King Veena, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
King Veena, and also Duryodhana, Kamsa. So there also, they are kings, but they bereft of this divine vision. They are always with material enjoyment. They want to enjoy their senses. Thank you, Prabhuji. And the second one, the second point in these words, Prabhupada explains, the Sukadeva Goswami is highlighted the path of Garuda. So, and he compared the path taken by these so-called kings as a path of fly. So, if you see, fly is very, 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 very small. And the path of Garuda also given here. Path of Garuda is a carrier of Vishnu. So, he is very huge. So, gigantic. It's obviously he can move very fast compared to fly. And also, we can see it's like the path of Garuda, we can compare like an elevator. Without any disturbance it goes. And the path of the so-called people which adopt the path of flies is compared to the walking or to the stairs. It takes long time. They can reach, but it takes long time. So examples like karma yoga, fruitive actions. Some people, they do lots of rituals, and this is karma kanda philosophy. They adopt karma yoga to get the liberation. So karma kandi philosophy. And some people, they are on the jnana philosophy. So when they do the rituals, they aim is to go to higher planets only. There is no devotional point here. So they just want to fulfill their desires. They do the rituals and all these. But definitely they reach, but it takes long time. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga also it takes. But here Sukadeva Goswami is highlighting the importance of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is like an elevator. It's like a path of Garuda. When you compare the movements of fly and Garuda, Garuda obviously moves very fast compared to fly. And these kings, so-called kings, they are like a flies, following the path of flies. And some devotees, actually transcendentals like bhaktas, they take up the devotional service. It's a path of Garuda. They achieve the benefit, so perfection in their life. And the other point also, he mentioned here, why they are getting failures, why they are not getting success, what is missing here, and also explained here by the missing point is Narayana Parayana. They are missing Narayana Parayana, the devotional practices. They are always in the material enjoyment. They don't have time to think about the devotion also. So as Sukadeva Goswami mentioned in the second canto, Gruhamedis are always busy in earning and the enjoyment and future plans. They have thousands of topics to talk. What are the politics sometimes, the jewelry, clothes, sports, movies. There are so many other topics, but they don't have time to come to temple, take darshan, sit in front of Lord. So they don't have a time. They are not interested in all these devotional practices. They say there is no time. And what is missing? The devotional practice is missing. Why? Because they are not following the path of Mahajanas. Actually, this Narayana Parayana. Sukadeva Goswami, once Parikshit Maharaj asked, so he heard the story of Risasura. Risasura is a demon, but he was a devotee, saintly demon. So that means he has the qualities of devotee. He's a bhakta. So you all know the story of Vritasura. In previous birth, he was a Chitrakurti. He's a great devotee of Lord Sankarshana. Because of Mother Parvati curse, he became a demon. Even in the body of demon, he didn't lose his identity as a devotion. And when Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami, why he is a devotee? How he became a devotee? Because he born as a demon to Tvasta by the sacrifice of Tvasta. Because he is a Brahmana. But why he came in the form of demon? What happened? Why he became a devotee? So he was asking. So that time, so he was saying that there are unlimited number of atoms of living entities. Sukadeva Goswami is giving the hierarchy. So it's like in this purport also Prabhupada mentioned Manushanam Sahasreshu. So there are so many, among the many human beings, one who get the perfection in understanding me. In the same way, Sukadeva Goswami is giving this hierarchy of the liberations. And he was saying that there are so many atoms of living entities. In this, among the living entities, only few can follow dharma, religious principles. So among these, whoever following dharma, the religious principles, actually want to desire, they have a desire to get liberation. So among these people, so many people can desire, but it will not be fulfilled. So among these, only few people can understand actually what is liberation, what is the sense of liberation, and they give up their families, give up their children, wife, and they meditate on the Lord because they are Jivan Muktas. They want to get out of these material condemnations. So Jivan Mukta. So among them who understand the science of liberation, only few are getting liberated. So Jivan Muktas. So among them, so who are getting liberated, who actually So only few humans, few beings can understand what is the importance of the actual liberation, what is actual liberation, what is the object of worship, to whom we have to meditate. So that is explained in these words. I will show the words, please. Yeah. I will share the screen. Yeah. So it is in the 6th canto, 14th chapter and 5th verse. Anybody would like to read it?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am reading.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Muktanamopi siddhanam narayano parayanaha sudurlabam prasantatma kotisyopi mahamune.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
So could you read the translation also, please?
O great sage, among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, one may be devotee of Lord Narayana or Krishna. Such devotees who are fully peaceful are extremely rare. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So everybody cannot attain to that stage, Narayana Parana. That means a devotion towards the Krishna. There are many people, they aspire for the liberation, but they don't know what actually path follow. I'm stopping this screen. Thank you. So they don't know actually what path to take up and what to meditate, what is the object of meditation. They don't know many things. Somebody may follow Karmakanda rituals, somebody may take up Jnana Yoga, somebody may take Jnana Yoga, and their understandings up to the features like Brahma Jyoti and Paramatma. They cannot go beyond that. So, but here Sakadeva Goswami is saying that among all these liberated souls, only few are becoming Bhakta of Krishna or Vishnu, Narayana, Parayana. So that is missing here actually. Narayana, Parayana means, so those who are actually meditating on Narayana, these so-called kings are missing this point and they are enjoying worldly things and they are not taking up the path of actual devotion practice, which was given by Mahajanas. And also, Sukadeva Goswami in the first canto, 5th chapter, also explained the places, there is no glorification of Lord, is compared with the cross. It's a place of pilgrimage for cross. And also he explained the place with the positive atmosphere, with there is a surroundings of so much positiveness, and where the devotees can take up the meditation and the process of devotion, that area is like they are compared with swans. The non-devotees, which are not interested in devotees, compared with the crows, and devotees, those who enjoy the devotional activities and that atmosphere is compared with the lake and swans. They enjoy, they relish that atmosphere because that place is enriched with the glories of the Lord. So they can perform the activities of the Lord. So that is the difference. And it also explained. And the four, if you see Vedas, they tell only 4 Purusharthas. What are the 4 Purusharthas? Anybody would like to share?
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Mataji.
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So they are very serious about these 4: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That is 4 Purusharthas. Some may take up the religious practices and they fully engrossed in that practices. So mostly to fulfill their desires, not for the devotion, not to please the Lord. They do karmakanda activities, ritualistic activities. Some people, they may go to higher planets and they fulfill their desires when their punya is reduced. Kshine Punye Matyalokam Vasanti. So if the Punya is reduced, gone, over, they come back and take birth again. So dharma, religious, some people they practice the religious principles. And artha, economic development, to survive their lives, they take up some occupation and they earn some money. So they don't stop. They don't have an idea to use that money for the service of Lord. They use that money for their sense gratification, that is karma. They enjoy so many things with that money, whatever they are earning. So they take up some religious practices, they earn money. They, along with these religious practices, ritualistic activities to fulfill their desires, they also enjoy. There is no place for devotion here. There is no place for Krishna or Vishnu here, just to please their sense gratification. If they have a time, they think about moksha, liberation, that too 5 types of liberation: Sayujya Mukti, Salokya Mukti, Samipya Mukti, Sasti, something like that. So actually devotees, they don't want these 5 types of devotions, liberations. They aspire only devotional practices. So they want to serve Lord. They want to please the Lord. They are not interested in pleasing their senses. They least bother about. They just take up some facilities to survive and to do worship for the Lord and to please the Lord. That's all. Not interested in material enjoyment. And here, if you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended that what is Panchama Purushadha, not only these 4, there is one more Purushadha, that is Panchama Purushadha, that is Prema Pumartho Mahan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended the highest perfection of life is devotional service. The highest gift given to the society is Krishna consciousness. And the so-called leaders, they don't know how to take up this devotional practice, and they don't know how to follow this also. And here there are 2 things to understand. First of all, you have to take up that path. You have to decide which path is actual fulfilling our desire of going back to Godhead. To attain the highest prayojana is attaining the Krishna Prema. That is the Panchama Purushadha recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the attaining Krishna Prema is the highest perfection. That is the highest gift should be given to anyone. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started Sankirtanam. That is actual the path of Garuda. The path of Garuda is devotional practices. Because so-called leaders are not following, they are following the flies, they cannot reach, they cannot follow what to do in the process of devotional service, what is the process to please the Lord. So they are not lacking, because the Prabhupada is mentioned, they are not following the Mahajan. Definitely the process of devotional service is very difficult. But if you follow Mahajanas, so definitely we can achieve that perfection. That what is the perfection? The attaining the Krishna Prema, the Panchama Purushadha explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was recommended, and he showed how to attain that Krishna Prema also. And all these acharyas, Srila Prabhupada also in the path of Garuda. We can see what is the path of Garuda. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said path of the path given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the path of Garuda. It's like a elevator, quick process attaining Krishna Prema by Sankirtana Mahayajna. Krishna, the whole Krishna consciousness is a path of Garuda. It is facilitated by so many acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. So just now we read in the Srila Prabhupada, he established so many temples just to please his Guru Maharaj. He didn't take any credits. So the path is given to entire humanity. The path of Garuda is given by Srila Prabhupada for entire society, entire humanity. So take up that path and follow the Mahajanas. And who are the Mahajanas? Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kapila, Bhishma, and Kumaras, Prahlada, Sukadeva Goswami, Janaka. So there are 12 Mahajanas. If you see them, Brahma is sincerely, is a Mahajana because he take up the knowledge from the Lord and he sincerely using that knowledge to fulfill the desire of Lord in creating material world. He's using that knowledge and also he's propagating that knowledge to his son Narada Muni. So Narada Muni following Brahma and he took the and it has given to his disciples. And Lord Shiva also he is also following the instructions of the Lord in annihilating. So these are Mahajanas. They take up the knowledge from the Lord and they are giving that knowledge to everyone and they are sincerely following the instructions of the Lord. If you follow the footsteps of these Mahajanas, we get the benefit. And Kapila Dev, so he has given that Sankhya philosophy to his mother, Devahuti. And Prahlad Maharaj is epitome of devotion practices, Bhakta, great Bhakta. And Bhishma Dev also is a great devotee of Lord. If you see all these Mahajanas, they followed the path given by the Lord and they got perfection and they have given that knowledge to everyone. If you follow their path, definitely we achieve perfection. That is attaining Krishna Prema. So that is the path of Garuda. Path of Garuda is practicing devotion. So under the guidance of Mahajanas, if you follow their footsteps, we definitely achieve it. And this path of Garuda also given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and through Sankirtana Mahayajna. And this path of Garuda also given by Srila Prabhupada in the form of ISKCON, Krishna conscious. So there are so many Krishna consciousness activities and so many standards to achieve perfection. And this path of Garuda also given by previous acharyas in the form of literature, in the form of bhajans, in the form of prayers. And also our gurus. So now in the present ISKCON society, there are so many gurus, spiritual masters. They are also following the steps of footsteps of Mahajanas and they are propagating this knowledge to everyone. So they are also following the path of Garuda. So whoever following the path of Mahajanas and they are following these instructions of these great personalities and the instructions of the Lord and propagating this knowledge to everyone, they are in the path of Garuda. So simply this called leaders and saints and incarnation, they claim themselves as a god, but they don't follow any Mahajanas. There is no authority and they follow their own manufactured things whimsically. That's why they are failing. They are not getting success. If you if you get perfection seriously, follow Mahajana steps of the Mahajanas and understand what is the devotional practice, what to do, what are the methods, what are the rules. Understand given by these instructions by previous acharyas, Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then your life will be success. And that is the Panchama Purushartha, attaining Krishna Prema. So I just revise the 4 points. First we have discussed what are the activities of so-called rulers, so-called saints, and the persons who claim themselves as God, and what are the activities, how they are doing that, and why they are not getting success, because they are lacking Narayana Parayana. They are not taking the proper path of Garuda. They are following the path of flies. Compared to the Garuda, the path of fly is very, very insignificant, and it takes long time to achieve it. They're following with so many other philosophies, so many other rules and regulations like a karma kanda, jnana kanda, like that. Exactly, they are not following the bhakti yoga. So in first canto, Sukadeva Goswami tells what is actually the Savanakadi Rishis asked Sutta Goswami, what is the essence of human life? What is the main point? What is the main goal of the life? So he explained what Sukadeva Goswami explained to Parikshit Maharaj in the second chapter of the first canto. So that is Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojati. So the aim of human being is worshipping the Vasudeva. Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal. Through Bhakti Yoga only we can achieve Krishna Prema, that is Panchama Purushartha recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is the first point. And we compared Rajarshis and so-called present leaders, and their activities also we studied, and we also discussed Narayana, what is Narayana Parayana, and also we compared two paths, path of flies, path of Garuda, and also lastly we discussed what is the ultimate goal of the life, that is attaining Krishna Prema. It is also called Panchama Purushartha. So by this, I would like to conclude the class. If anything missing, would you like to add some more points? Please welcome, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to add any more points?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
very much,
Prabhuji.
Mataji, for a very nice class, and particularly summarizing at the end the whole conclusion. Thank you for that. And in this regard, what I understand, I mean, I'm just talking of my realization. You have very nicely told in fact, the duties of a Kshatriya in the real sense. The duty of a Kshatriya is to protect the citizens from falling down to or uplifting them from animal life to human life, because the purpose of human life is to inquire, as you have told, Atato Brahmajika. So one should inquire about the purpose of this human life as against an animal life. And these four things we do, and the animal, we're no different from animals. But human being, we have a higher responsibility, and because we have got a higher intelligence. So the king's duty is to help his citizens. And in fact, in the Shastra, it is also mentioned, if they fail to do that, they have to incur they have to incur the reactions of their subjects. So, and you have very nicely mentioned about the Mahajanas, and some of them were kings, and they have very nicely shown by their example how the citizens are to be made God conscious. But unfortunately, the present day, the things are completely different, and the whole world is going without God consciousness. And the civilization is also, which Prabhupada is called, is nothing but an animal civilization, in the sense, because it is endeavoring more and more sense enjoyment and keeping us away from the Lord. And that is the trend that is most unfortunate for us. But one thing we must remember, that whatever we do, if we cannot attain, if we do not direct our activities towards the Lord, ultimately we will face the consequence, and we may not have a human life. What most of the people do not understand, they think that they will be happy by sense enjoyment. They will be happy, no doubt, they can enjoy it. And by doing karma kando activities, if they do good activities, they can go to higher planets also. That is also possible, and with more opportunities for sense enjoyment. But these are all temporary situations. We have to understand that. Only the Supreme Lord is eternal, and when we associate unless we get rid of these material things to the spiritual level, we will also encircle and cycle of birth and death. So our aim is to go back to Godhead, and for that we have to be we have to be God conscious, and all our activities should be directed in that. And
Yes.
I will conclude by telling two verses. I'm just quoting, I'm not quoting that. In verse 1 to 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, Dharma sanuskrita pungsam bishekshana kathasyo na utpadave jodirotim sramoyevi kevalam. If all our activities we cannot, all the varnasrama, the purpose of varnasrama is to elevate ourselves and have love for God. If that doesn't happen, then that is useless labor. The same thing is till in 13 also. Atho kumbir dijasisto, varnasrama vibhagasho, sanushtita dharmasya, sanksiddhir haritoshanam. So if we do not evoke haritoshanam, or that becomes the purpose of life, the human life is really doomed. We have to understand that. And thank you very much for explaining these things very nicely and concluding it very nicely. Thank you once again, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for adding that verse. And it is really emphasizing that point, that what are the actual activities we have to perform. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to add any more things?
So Hare Krishna, yes, Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
no one to make any comments. So
Okay. Thank you so
the
much,
class may be
Prabhuji.
concluded.
Yeah. Hare
Vancha
Kalpataruभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। सावित्री माता जी की जय। प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. It was a nice class, elaborated class. Thank you. Hare